Once upon a folktale, a man named Ayo stepped off the interstate bus, the humid Lagos air replaced by the slightly cooler yet still thick embrace of Ile Igbo. The city, though not as sprawling as Lagos, hummed with its own unique rhythm, a symphony of distant market cries, the rumble of ancient generators, and the incessant chatter of a thousand conversations. He clutched his worn backpack, a nervous excitement fluttering in his chest. This was it, his new beginning, a fresh start, far from the suffocating expectations of his family and the relentless pace of the megacity. His new job, a promising role in a burgeoning tech firm, was his ticket to independence. He found his apartment with relative ease, a modest two-bedroom flat tucked away on a quiet street, surprisingly affordable for its proximity to the city center. The only peculiarity was its view, a large murky pond, its surface often obscured by a thin film of green algae and the occasional discarded plastic bottle. It wasn't picturesque, but it was peaceful, a stark contrast to the concrete jungle he'd left behind. He unpacked, set up his small space, and for the first few days, life in Ile Igbo was a pleasant blur of new routines, new colleagues, and the quiet satisfaction of building something for himself. Yet, as the initial novelty wore off, subtle disquiet began to creep in. It started small, almost imperceptible, a faint, almost musical whisper carried on the breeze from the direction of the pond, even when there was no wind. He dismissed it as the rustling of leaves or the distant murmur of traffic. Then came the shadows, fleeting peripheral blurs that danced at the edge of his vision, especially when he glanced towards the pond at dusk. He'd blink and they'd be gone, leaving him to wonder if his eyes were playing tricks on him after a long hour staring at a computer screen. A pervasive sense of unease, like a cold finger tracing his spine, would often settle upon him when he was alone in his apartment, a feeling he couldn't shake despite the warmth of the afternoon sun. One sweltering afternoon, as Ayo was returning from work, he noticed an elderly woman sitting on a low stool outside our compound, her eyes, ancient and knowing, fixed on him. She was Mama Bisi, a respected elder in the community, known for her sharp wit and her deep connection to the old ways. As he approached, she beckoned him closer with a gnarled hand. Young man, she said, her voice a low rasp, you live too close to the water. The spirits of the deep do not take kindly to trespassers, especially those who forget the old ways. Ayo, ever polite, smiled and nodded, attributing her words to the quaint superstitions of the elderly. Thank you, Mama, he replied. But I assure you, I mean no harm to anyone, spirits or otherwise. He continued on his way, dismissing her words as harmless folklore, a relic of a bygone era. He shared the encounter with Kunle, his new colleague, and quickly becoming a good friend. During their lunch break the next day, Kunle, a boisterous man with a hearty laugh, chuckled. Ah, Mama BC. She means well, but she's from a different time. Don't mind her. The only spirits around here are the ones in the local palm wine. Kunle's easy dismissal further cemented Ayo's belief that his unease was simply a product of his own overactive imagination, perhaps a side effect of adjusting to a new environment. But the whispers persisted, growing bolder, more distinct. They seemed to call his name, a soft melodic murmur that would rise and fall with the evening breeze. He found himself drawn to the pond, a strange, almost hypnotic pool. One evening, working late on a presentation, the office building eerily quiet, a particularly captivating melody drifted through his open window. It was hauntingly beautiful, melancholic yet alluring, unlike any music he had ever heard. It seemed to emanate directly from the murky depths of the pond, Curiosity, a dangerous companion, tugged at him. He pushed away from his desk, the presentation forgotten, and walked towards the window, then out of his apartment building, drawn by the siren song. He found himself at the water's edge, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and stagnant water. The song was louder here, clearer, weaving itself around him, pulling him closer. He peered into the darkness, trying to discern the source of the melody, and then he saw it. Just beneath the surface, a shimmering figure, indistinct yet undeniably present. Its eyes, two points of incandescent light, glowed faintly in the gloom, fixed on him. A cold dread, unlike anything he had ever known, seized him, yet he felt an irresistible pull, a desperate urge to step into the water, to join the shimmering entity in its watery embrace.